Hello and good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in to my stream of G Code. Hey Marv, so you're here. Good afternoon. Thank you so much. How are you this afternoon, Marv? Um, I'm not really sure how long this stream is going to be. I'm going to got a few things that I want to share today, and so I'm really just kind of going to go ahead and get into it. So, of course, this is your girl, Rain and Woman. Thank you for joining me once again for G Code and my G Code. And if you're catching this on the replay, I hope this finds you in great spirits, great attitudes, great atmosphere. And here we go. So I shared yesterday evening on my gratitude stream how over the weekend, I had began to feel a little bit heavy. Um, my spirit was little. Actually, my spirit and my heart was really discouraged over the weekend, and I didn't really share with anybody how I was feeling until I spoke with one of my elderly cousins, Hi Ledford, on the evening on what Sunday evening, and that kind of made me feel better speaking to her. So I'm gonna give a little bit of backdrop before I get into my G code and what was going on. So I had gone to. I don't leave my house often, actually, lately since my mother transitioned earlier this year. I I only leave my house really if I have to. Other than that, I don't really go out. I don't really do a whole lot, right? And so Saturday, I went to the mall, and while I was there, I stopped and got something. I got a Cinnabon, right? A caramel Cinnabon, one of my favorite treats. My mother and I used to love going to Cinnabon sometimes for a special treat. So I went to Cinnabon, whatever, and I really got a Cinnabon. And I was eating in the food court. And as I was sitting there in the food court, I took a look around and I just noticed everyone walking around the mall. I just became present to it, like everything going on in the atmosphere, the workers, the people going into the movies, the other people sitting around in the eating area, people walking around. And as I, for once, I really can't say how long, but for once in probably quite some time, I really thought about all the other people around me besides myself. And what I became present to is I saw an older white lady sitting by herself, and she didn't look really happy, right? I saw I saw a black family sitting down, and they seemed like they didn't seem like they were really happy. They just seemed like everybody just kind of seemed like they were just there. I saw a Hispanic male walking with his little girl and him trying to keep up with her. I saw an older male server, an older black guy that was a server there, and he seemed like, and he was limping like he had a disability, and just kind of checking on everyone, doing his job and everything, right? So I took a look around, at other people, younger people, older people, everything in between. And in that moment, the only thing that mattered to me was how can I make a difference right now in this moment? Like, normally when I'm out and about, I care an awful lot about safety and like bike safety, especially, and I feel like because I'm so short, I feel like I need to sit on some books so that you guys will know that I'm not sitting here with no clothes on. I'm dressed, okay, but I'm so short. I'm so short, like my table. That feels weird. Anyway, that's what I was present to. I at that moment, like I cared about other people's happiness. I cared about other people's safety. I cared about. I didn't care about any other like narratives. um, I didn't care about what was going on in the world anywhere else at that moment. Like, I didn't care about wars going on over here. I didn't care about gender wars. I didn't care about the black man hating the black woman. I didn't care about white supremacy. I didn't care about black power. I didn't care about any of that. What I cared about was, how can I make a difference right now in this moment? what would what would matter to me, and how could I make a difference to this atmosphere? How could I make a difference to somebody else, in spite of their background, in spite of their color, in spite of their race, in spite of their hair texture, in spite of their financial status, in spite of their religious belief or the lack thereof. Like, how could I? And you know what I came up with? To be kind. Being kind and smiling. Smiling at whoever I made eye contact with. And that was it. Speaking, and generally I'm like this. But if someone speaks to me, generally I will speak, anyway. But it was just something different about this time, and Saturday, and so as I saw this one sister. That sidebar and segue. I saw this one sister, young lady, looked like she may have been in her mid 20s, early to mid 20s, and she had on a black T-shirt. Her hair was really nice, like in a bob, but she was wearing camouflage cargo pants and like Timberland style boots, which I love camo gear and I love Timberland style boots. Like, that is my alternate style of dress. And so as I was getting ready to leave, I walked up to her and I greeted her and I asked her, where did she get her outfit from? And she told me and everything. And I was sure to smile at her too, of course, right? But I don't know why I just added that said, hey. But speaking to her instead of just, well, here it is. Speaking to her and going to ask her about her outfit versus me just finishing eating and going on about my business was also my way of engaging. And as after she told me where she got her outfit from, I gave her a compliment. I told her she looked really nice, and I smiled and I walked away. Now, that was then. So then after that, came back home and so let me share this as I continue. I don't watch television. I have like probably 5 televisions in this house, and all of these televisions are for the 90% of the time there is no television on. I hardly listen to the radio. So honestly, I find out mostly what's going on in the world through the media, through social media, and through phone conversation, right? So I was doing a little bit of catch up online about other things that's going on. And that's when my spirit and my heart really began to get troubled because what I saw was so many people. I saw so many people like just angry. I saw so many people hurting. I saw so many people, just like at war with themselves and just a lot of unhappiness and excuse me. And it bothered me. It bothered me to see so many people uneasy in life. It bothered me to see that in a world that is so beautiful, with mountains, with nature, with animals, with different cultures, like, but just the world in of itself is such a beautiful place. But with anger, with frustration, with pain, with fights, with hatred, we can't see this beautiful world. You can't even enjoy it. And it goes beyond what's going on in your neighborhood. It's like, it's crazy. There is so much selfishness in this world. It's so much self-absorption and just it's crazy to me. And I got overwhelmed with how the ugliness of people is making this world an ugly place to be in. And that is the God honest truth to me. Like, it's not even the world. It's it's the ugliness of people. It's the ugliness and the wickedness of people's beings. It's the lack of compassion. It's to be compassionate these days is considered weak. To be kind, yet if someone is rude to us, we complain about it, right? We complain about, oh, I can't believe this person was an a-hole to me, or I went into the store, this person looked at me this way. On my job, they treat me like this. My family act like this. Like, oh my gosh. But to be kind, to be caring, to be selfless, to have a heart, to show love, to show passion, is looked at as a weakness. So, that being said, um, I was just like, what really do I assign myself to? What's important? What's really and truly important to y'all know me as Rain and Woman, but what's important to Nikki? That's what most of my friends call me. They call me Nikki. What's important to Nikki? Every day I wake up, and since my mother transitioned, my thing has been like, I want to live a life that honors my parents and that glorifies God. A life that honors my parents and a life that glorifies God. And I think you know what, honestly, the real thing that nailed it in, like the straw that broke the camel's back for me in the midst of all of this, was Kevin Hart being scrutinized for an old tweet about his son a joke, but there's truth in his joke about not wanting his son to act and portray any gay attributes, right? And my thing was like, wow, you know, he really, and it wasn't so much about Kevin, it was about, to me, it was about anybody, that you as a person can't make a decision about your life, how you want to live your life. You cannot set a standard for your life and for your family without being scrutinized by other people and actually being bullied. So now let me get to my G code, because what became more present to me and um, even stronger, a resilience that stood up in me was my God code. Someone said, and I don't remember who, but there's a quote out there that says, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. And I said, well, the thing that I want to stand by, no matter what, I want to stand by my G code. And my G code is my God code. My God code is my standard for how I choose to live my life, which is a life of righteousness, a life of compassion, a life of peace. Brother Malcolm X said that too. Thank you for sharing that, because I was going to go look it up. But a life of righteousness, a life of peace, and a life of holiness. Now, that doesn't mean, let me tell you, that doesn't mean by any means that I think that I'm perfect and I'm going to put anything on a pedestal, because I'm not. I am an imperfect woman that serves and that worships a perfect God while I strive for perfection. And at the end of the day, no matter how my life should come to an end, what I want is for my heart to be pure and perfect towards God. And I want to be able to live a standard and set a standard for myself and those around me that are like-minded or like-spirited, but especially within my house, that says these are the rules and the guidelines here. And when you step through these doors, this is what the expectation is. Because out there, where anything and everything goes, is not my code. That's not my code. And it's a choice. You know what? To be compassionate is a choice. That was Alexander Hamilton. Thank you, Ledford. And Shalom, Adora. I didn't mean to. I see you. Thank you. Um, it's a choice. To be loving is a choice. To have faith is a choice. And just like I sat in the eatery, in the eating area of the mall on Saturday, and I didn't care about anyone's skin tone. I didn't care about anyone's texture of their hair. I didn't care about their financial status. I didn't care about who their parents were. I didn't care about their religious belief. All I cared about was, how can I make a difference in this moment? All I cared about was being kind. And I wasn't going to isolate, I wasn't going to hand select who I was going to be kind to. I wasn't going to hand select who I was going to smile at. I wanted to smile. And I wanted to share a smile with someone else where a smile just might have been a difference. Could have been a difference between somebody deciding that there are no good people in the world. A smile or some energy that could have made the difference between someone ending their life. A smile and some energy that could have made a difference between somebody saying, I don't have to hate that person because of the way she wears her hair or the way he wears his hair or how much money he has or how much money she does not have, or because her skin is pink, her skin is olive, his skin is this, his skin is that. And then they could have made a difference. That's what I cared about. And that's what I care about. You know, we're being made to feel like, and they're putting like religion against religion, right? Oh, the Christians against the Muslims, and the Muslim against the Buddhists, and this and that. And you know what my experience is? Let me tell you what my experience is. I have seen people of various faiths do heinous crimes before and after their belief. I've seen Muslims do things that were embarrassing, men and women of the Nation of Islam. And I've seen people of the Christian faith do things that were embarrassing, say things that were embarrassing before and after their faith. I've seen the same thing with Buddhists. I've seen it with Hebrew Israelites, like you name it. The point is this, is that there is goodness and there is wickedness in every race, in every culture, and in every religious belief. There is no perfect religion. There is no perfect person. But every day we have a choice of what we're going to assign ourselves to be. And I choose righteousness over wickedness. And I don't care. You know what? Today and tomorrow and yesterday, I don't care who commits the heinous crime. I care that it is a crime against people and against humanity. That's what I care about. And if we can't hold each other accountable within our own culture, within our own race, what is the point? What's the purpose? Like, honestly, what's the purpose? I don't get it. And so I assign to the G code, to my G code. And you know what part of my G code is too? I am a woman. There's no Adam's apple here. Whether if I shave all my hair out tomorrow, which by the way, I am subject to do that because I'm already contemplating it. But anyway, I'm a woman, right? I was born a female. Nothing on me is fake. I was created as a woman. And I believe it is my belief and my standard and my stand that women belong with men and men belong with women, period. And no one else has to agree, right? The LGBTQ, and if they want to add A for animals and whatever else they're going to add on or whatever, you know what? That is my standard. That is what my spiritual belief is, right? And there are going to be some things that other people, or that they're not going to believe the way you believe, and they're not going to like you speaking certain things that are your standard for who you are. And you know what? That is okay. It's okay with me and it's okay with you. Like, I am a member. I am a functioning member of the body of Christ. I believe in the Trinity. I believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I don't believe in no white Jesus. I never have believed in a white Jesus. I also refer to the Most High, my how I relate to the Most High, how I relate to the Creator, as Yahweh and Yahushua as the Son of the Father. I have many testimonies of how God has worked in my life, even in my imperfections. So I am so grateful to Christ. I'm so grateful to the Most High, to God, to Yahweh for His grace and His mercy. And you know what I also know, and what I also assign myself to is that I can be even better. I think that, no, I don't think, I know that who I am today, which by the way, there is no glory in reigning woman. There is no glory in Nikki or my government name. There's no glory in who I am as a person without my G code. None. Everything, anything that I could boast on about myself and about my character um, is only because of God. It's only because of Him. And anything and everything that I aspire to be is only because of Him. And that's it. So that's my G code. That's my G code. When you know what, I'm grateful to have a relationship, and this is what I think every person should strive for is a relationship. However, whatever path you choose, I'm not going to tell you what path that you should choose. I'm telling you that I am a member of the body of Christ. I'm telling you what I believe and what works and who works for me and what I assign myself to and what I am willing to live, stand, and die for. That's me. But I have testimonies about my relationship. Whatever you assign yourself to, whatever you connect with, I think you owe it to yourself that it's given over and that it's from the process of a relationship. It's not just rules and if you go into the synagogue, because honestly, I believe that if you have a real relationship with the Creator, what I call God, however you call it, but what I call God, you can have that relationship in and out of a building. You can have that relationship with or without a book. I study the scriptures, I study, and I believe very firmly in the Bible and the Apocrypha and also the Dead Sea Scrolls. And I also study other texts. So I'm not limited in my studies at all. But if they were to take away, if I was to be robbed of every book that I have and of every scripture that I've ever read, nothing can take away the relationship that I have. It is the relationship. Hey, Captain PY2, thank you for coming in, bro. It is the relationship that sustains me. It's the relationship that grows me and that matures me and that keeps me and that comforts me and that builds me. It's the relationship that preserves me. It is the relationship that has allowed me to have wisdom and to obtain lessons from my flaws and my downfalls and the pitfalls of life. Is the relationship. And I don't judge. I think another thing that we go wrong with as people, and that hurts people and that discourages people spiritually and mentally, is being judged for where they are in their walk. I am a grown woman. What do I look like walking up to a child in diapers that's like and still in a cradle saying, "Why aren't you running yet? What are you doing? Don't you see me walking and running? Don't you see me skipping? Get up, what are you doing? Get up out this cradle. Get up out this cradle, and you need to no, go run. No, change your own diaper. What are you doing?" That is the same way it is with people who have different growth in ideologies, in philosophies, and spiritual beliefs, and they see someone else in what they call a sleeping state, or uh, immature state, or they're not woke, or they're not conscious, or whatever. That's the same telling them what they ought to be doing right now because you've read a book or two, or you heard a lecture, or you came to you had some moment. It's like talking to a child in diapers in a cradle saying, "Get up and walk." What are you doing? Because you can walk. Instead of being patient, letting them go through their process and sharing and compassion and sharing in true love, not wrath, not indignation, words of wisdom and words of power, words of life, words of life. I also became, I also made a choice to even become more humble over the weekend and to try to be more patient and more understanding of other people in different arenas as well. Because I saw in myself where I could improve in that area where I faltered. And I didn't like it. And you know what else? And I don't need anybody else to call me out on it. I see it for myself. And seeing it for myself means in the moment that I see something that's lacking and that's a flaw or a fault in my life, that is the time that I can make a choice to work on that and to change that then. The character of a man is not what they do so much in public, but what they do when no one else is holding them accountable. But also in my G code, I want people to be able to hold me accountable. I know a lot of people, and I know a lot of people like across the globe. And I know a lot of people with different statuses. But I spend a lot of time to myself. I spend a whole lot of time to myself. And one of the reasons that I spend a whole lot of time to myself is because I want other people, I want other people around me to not just accept me for who I am, but to call me to a higher standard in character, freely. And out of all the people that I know, and I know a lot of people, out of all the people that I know, I don't think I don't think I have enough of them to do that authentically. And that's the honest and raw truth. That's the honest and raw truth. Hmm. So that's my G code. That's all about my G code, y'all. Vanity, vanity, and image will fade away with time. And as much as we love life, as much as I love life and everything, none of us were intended to be in these physical bodies forever, right? But our energy, I believe that our spirits and our energies in of themselves never die. I don't believe that energy can die off. I believe that it transcends. And but to try, I believe that we should want to be healthy. And do I believe in reincarnation? I don't. I don't. I don't. Uh, I don't disqualify it. I don't disqualify reincarnation. Um, in knowing and believing that energy never dies, then I definitely believe that it is possible. Um, but as much as we want to take care of our bodies and everything, right, and be healthy, it's still we were not meant to be in these physical bodies forever in the state that they are. But the one thing that we really have control over is we have control over our inner being and the direction of that. And at the end of the day, I don't know if you guys have noticed this sidebar segue. At the end of the day is like at the end of the day is one of my favorite sayings. I say that so much. But at the end of the day, being comfortable and confident with who you are as a person and how you serve the world, what you do with that dash in between the time that you were born and that you transcend or transition is what we need to feel comfortable with and confident every day, aside from anyone else's judgment. Because only you know what you were put here to do. Only you know about the convictions of your heart and your spirit. Only you know about what makes you uncomfortable, and what makes you comfortable and what makes you confident. And those are the things that you have to be true to. Good afternoon. How to Cook by LN. And I want to say, Kalula, thank you for chiming in. So, find your, I admonish you to encourage you to find your code. What is the thing that you really want to be known for? What is the footprint that you really want to leave, if there's evidence, if you have the opportunity to leave evidence of your being here, what do you want that footprint to be? I want my footprint to be my G code. I want my footprint to be one of love, one of humility, one of service, and one of change, one of power, knowing that I had the power to make a difference in some kind of way, and I used that power, not just to the benefit of myself, but to the benefit of somebody else. That's my G code. What is your G code? Or what is your code? What do you assign yourself to? Without, if we were to erase all the narratives, who are you? Do you know who you are? Nobody can answer that for you. Do you know who you are? Over time, I'm going to be sharing some of my testimonies. Um, I repent. I boldly and I humbly repent before the Most High for for any time I misrepresented Him, and for any time I may, whether it was intentional or unintentional, led someone astray. I repent. My G code does call for repentance. My G code calls for change within self in order to be a representation of change to others and what that looks like. I am grateful to the Most High. I'm grateful to God. I'm grateful to Yahweh for the power He has shown me in the name and in the blood of Jesus Christ and in Yahshua. I am grateful for His deliverance, from delivering me from times of trouble, from issues that could have hindered me long term and in the long run, and for all that He is still yet doing in me and working through me through the Spirit. I am grateful and I repent from any time I misrepresented that before, now, and going forward, because I represent my G code. Thank you so much, all of you, for chiming in and listening to me. Allow me to share, allow me to be what I was going to do anyway, which is be transparent, and allow me to share my heart and my spirit with you, and my mind and my thoughts. Thank you for allowing me to have an energy exchange with you from Texas to wherever you are. I appreciate it so much because let me tell you, I recognize that you do not have to be here. Our time and our energy are the most valuable commodities that we have. You can never get your time back. You can never get your energy back. Once you expel it, it is done. So I thank you. I do not take it lightly. If you catch the replay, I don't take it lightly that you spent some time with me. Thank you. And I want to end this dream by saying, you are handsome. You are beautiful. You are loved and you are powerful, probably beyond your own recognition. You deserve to be here and you deserve to live a life that you desire. And I want that for you. I want you to have all the peace, love, happiness, joy, compassion that your heart can stand and then some. You're welcome, Miss Nicola. Kalula. Please forgive me if I say your name wrong. I mean no harm. Um, that's it. That's it for now. I'm gonna go in this dream and go be emotional offline.